Fathers leading under pressure, fatherhood under pressure. This is what the subject I want to talk to you guys today about. I want to share a little experience that happened to me quite some time ago. I was in Egypt with my son. There had been a long day. My body's just exhausted, and my mind was just racing, thinking about so many different things, areas and aspects of my life, from my marriage, my children, my business. And my son can see that I was having these internal battles. Reason being is because it showed on my face. It's just showed by my energy. And at the same time, my son was getting on with his own training and doing what he had to do at the gym, at our gym. And I was watching him. And the thing is this, I paused and I looked at him and I thought to myself, my son can be training a lot more harder than this. He's not putting in the work. And he looked at me. He looked at me and he glanced. He glanced over and just saw my facial reaction. And it said it all. And from that point, I knew that my leadership was on trial. My son was noticing every types of restraint. Not words, but how I wanted to say something and was trying to hold myself back. Wanted to say something negative from screaming and yelling or shouting, but how I held myself back. And at that point that I knew that my son was mirroring either my calmness or my frustration. And this is what I was displaying to him. And every choice that I make, how I react, is teaching him silently. It's teaching him about trust. Trust is forming in these types of moments, the moments of reactions. How I react to the times I get frustrated, the times I get stressed, the times when things don't go my way in life. My son's picking up on all these little cues because they're teaching him indirectly how to stay under pressure. How to react under pressure, how to stay calm and composed. Out of the two, which one am I doing more of? Am I reacting or am I calm and composed throughout these stressful challenges and these situations? And the thing is this, it's bad enough as it is. Our boys are being overstimulated, guided by comfort. And on the flip side of things, that you got us exhausted fathers, we react, we're unsure because of what's going on around us. The world is changing constantly. And masculinity is very much misunderstood in so many subtle ways. And this is what we, as us fathers, have to deal with. So many different types of pressure from societal norms, from protecting, from providing, from all levels, whether it be mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. We have to stay grounded on all those levels, because if we don't, our sons are watching. Like I said, our leadership is on trial. And there's long-term consequences, because if we allow the stresses and life to get the best of us, we become mentally weak. And this is when our boundaries drop. And when our boundaries become weak, it becomes normal. And then when it becomes normal, nothing gets done. Nothing gets progressed. And our son learns shortcuts instead of effort. And then on top of this, you have emotional fragility develops quietly. All of a sudden, from trying to make our sons become more resilient about life and teach him these principles, he's becoming soft. He's becoming rattled. And when he becomes rattled, he's easily triggered by life. And when he's easily triggered by life, guess what happens? Depression kicks in. Failure kicks in. Identity confusion grows under passive guidance. We no longer become strong role models because we're easily rocked. And this is what we are. This is what we could be displaying if we're not too careful about how we come across. And it's in these little subtle reactions to life that our sons are watching quietly and observing. What's our facial expression saying? What is our tone saying? Our body language, our energy. He's picking up on all of these kind of things. He's picking up on the times when we are calm, when we're composed, and when we're losing it. But what mode do we choose to be in majority of the time? Are we in reactionary mode, or are we in the better, the calmer mode? And the thing is this, there are long-term consequences And I'll tell you what the long-term consequences are. If we are not grounded, then there's going to be a lack of direction. And that will come at a cost in their adulthood. Because when we have weak boundaries, when we're not composed, it affects them in the long run. It weakens discipline. And that affects our leadership, our ability to lead. And that's when family culture and the structure starts to drift. And guess what happens? This takes place between 10 to 15 years of leadership being tested over and over and over again. That's what I'm saying. But from personal experience, there is a framework. And the framework is quiet strength. And it looks like this. It's been designed by myself of how to handle daily pressure. It builds structure, resilience, and trust. And there's 5 pillars in this. 5 pillars of consistency and action. And it looks like this. Being present in small daily moments. Pause before you respond to stress. Let calmness model our leadership to our sons. And all we need to do is just have check-ins, small micro check-ins with our sons. Have small little conversations, touch base here and there, because these things go a long, long way. And this is all about being present under pressure. It doesn't matter if we're going through life's challenges and tests. It's about being present. It's about demonstrating what presence is in the eyes of our sons. So when he's trying to communicate, we have to look at him, look him in the eye, give him that engagement in the conversation, not be so easily distracted. These are the small things that I'm talking about. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar that I want to bring to your attention is the physical strength. It's not about vanity. It's about discipline through training. It's about showing up, being consistent. And despite the fact that we're fatigued or we're tired, we don't make excuses. We just turn up, we get the work done, and we crack on. And this is all about doing one physical activity together with your son, side by side. It doesn't matter, even if, believe it or not, if it's just sitting there playing a game together, even if it's just exercising together or going for a walk, do something physical, challenging. Yeah? The game, playing a game, that's more to do with bonding, but it's still physical because it requires you to physically be present. And the strength will come through being patient. And this is what will develop through time, strength, confidence to do other things. The whole idea is first bond first with your son, and then do something like a physical activity, like I've mentioned. And the thing is, this strength communicates effort and resilience silently. As long as you are there, this is also being there, being present, and committing to the cause of building and developing your relationship. That shows a form of strength. It shows that I'm willing to put in the work in the relationship. Yeah? So that's all to do with strength. Strength is not just a physical thing. It's also an emotional type of resilience, a discipline. Let's move on to the next pillar. The third pillar is what? Emotional discipline. This is where we learn how to control our emotions, our reactions. When, for instance, we're under pressure and our tone of voice gets tested, because that's the first thing that our son starts to read. How do we react? What's our tone of voice? What is it like? It's these little micro expressions that our son is measuring our responses to challenges that we go through each and every week. So this is where our sons learn, they observe, and they learn how to restrain themselves through watching us restrain ourselves when the challenges get tough. Let's move on to the fourth pillar. The fourth pillar I want to bring to your attention is about faith, values. What are we modeling daily through our leadership? This is where we encourage reflection and integrity in small steps. Reflection, meaning sometimes there's just not allowing yourself to be distracted by devices, just sitting there contemplating about life, sitting still without any distractions. And that's a weird thing to do, especially in this time, day and age, where things are just traveling at rapid paces. Information, entertainment, stimulation is going at a rapid pace. Let's slow that down. Let's put a break on things. A few minutes, 5 minutes a day is, or once or twice a week is not going to kill you to do this type of exercise. It's these little micro actions consistently go a long way. It's how you slow things down. Yeah? Because this helps our sons to internalize things that are going on around him. Yeah, so we need to show that through example. 5 is about standards, about boundaries, clarity over ambiguity. Ambiguity. I can't even say it properly. And this is where we enforce rules consistently. When we say something, we need to commit to it and follow through. Because our word is being tested by our sons. He's seeing, is my dad a man of his word? Does he follow through in what he says? So this is where either boundaries can break or you can set a good standard. Yeah. So when it comes down to the safety of our son, feeling safe, he's watching us, how we react, how we enforce boundaries, and how we stick to standards and principles. He's watching all of this. And as fathers, we have to demonstrate a standard. So what I would say to us fathers, as a reminder to myself, is to embrace calmness, exercise calmness in our day-to-day reactions. Rather than reacting, try to adopt a calmer way of doing things and be consistent at that in our leadership. That's one. And it will show, and resilience will show through this, because this is how our son learns resilience, through our reactions or our calmness. And leadership begins at home. It always starts from our reactions. And it's about implementing these standards bit by bit, day by day. Our son is watching our every move, literally, from our expressions to our reactions. So, fathers, keep following, because we're here to raise sons with strength. Hold your standards calmly. Why? Because your son is watching.